Facebook, or now they call themselves Meta, well, they are not doing too well. They lose a record $242 billion in market value after saying the quiet part out loud. Facebook is basically losing. Facebook said they would stay out of course, censorship, and until, of course, a certain disease came around. And then, of course, Facebook basically became into Twitter 2.0. Facebook is mostly used by boomers and older people. And, and of course, Facebook's rules have been so strict. Facebook's rules are too strict. For example, there are groups like the Smash Bros. Hell group, which is basically a group where, people insult each other on daily basis in that group. But now because of Facebook's policing, you can't really have groups like, hell groups and stuff. Okay? Which are basically like troll groups and groups to have fun. Okay? But Facebook is now losing power. And, there are tons of alternatives to Facebook, Google, and other platforms out there. Even YouTube has alternatives. But of course, Google keeps censoring these alternatives to the big tech media because they want you to be subscribed to the big tech media and only be subscribed to them. Okay? Which is so frustrating because there's a lot of platforms out there, but again, because they have quote-unquote bad people on them that are banned off of Twitter because, of course, Twitter bans them, so where else are they going to go? Okay? Oh, you're banned on Facebook too? Excuse me. You're banned on YouTube? You're banned on Instagram? TikTok? Okay, TikTok I think bans the least amount of people compared to all the other ones, and Instagram, but you get the point. Okay? Where are they gonna go? The bad people. They go to these alternatives to these platforms, and that's why these alternatives to the platforms get censored by Google and these big platforms. But it seems that the walls on big tech is closing. Okay? There is a possibility, of course, Elon Musk might be buying Twitter, which Elon Musk is against censorship, so we're really going to see how that develops if Elon Musk buys a social media platform. The one he uses the most is, of course, Twitter. But Facebook also loses users for the first time. And Zuckerberg, of course, blames TikTok for people not watching Facebook. Okay? Well, Facebook is a site that mostly boomers and old people use. Okay? And, in lower income countries use. For example, in India, because TikTok is banned in India, TikTok is banned in Pakistan, of course, India's still going to use Facebook and Twitter, okay, because they can't use TikTok because the government blocked TikTok from the whole country. But nobody cares about Facebook anymore, okay? Facebook is a dying platform. And a lot of people who are against big tech are not going to use Facebook anymore. And a lot of normal people are now just going away from Facebook. Facebook is actually the second social media to be losing users. Of course, we all know, Twitter is losing users. It has been losing users for like a year now. Mostly because Twitter is banning everybody on the platform. Or they're being canceled and people are deleting their accounts. So, Facebook is just losing, basically. Facebook is just losing at this point. Okay? And, well, the metaverse is also, nobody gives a shit about that either. Okay? And we all know Facebook, has been banning people who disagree with, even though, and people will try to argue me with this, that Facebook, but Facebook's right because it's a private company. Well, Facebook should still be abiding by laws. And the First Amendment of America, which again, Facebook must abide by American law and the American Constitution. Well, the First Amendment says that freedom of speech cannot be censored. Which big tech clearly is against, we all know for a long time is against freedom of speech. YouTube bans people for no reason. YouTube bans right-wing content creators a lot. YouTube demonetizes right-wing creators. And it's mostly people who are on the opposite side of the San Francisco. Okay? Anyone who is to the right of San Francisco basically is in the trouble area. And, you know, and, people could be, but Facebook's future is in the metaverse. Well, considering the fact that Facebook already constantly censors people on the platform, I wouldn't be surprised if people get banned from the metaverse for having a different opinion than the CEO of Facebook, the CEO of Twitter, and the CEO. It's just these companies. And this, and of course, they're gonna lose because lots of countries are against big tech censorship. India that's the biggest country that's against it, because India, a lot of people are very religious in India. A lot of people are right wing in India. Uganda, that's another country that basically is against big tech. They banned Twitter for like a couple weeks, and Facebook and all social media. Nigeria, they banned Twitter for like almost a year, basically. They unbanned it after quote unquote backlash from the people who live in Nigeria. But again, most people don't get. And once there is a major alternative to these big tech platforms, which there is one that is coming that's being made by the former President Donald Trump, called Truth. We'll wait to see how Google and I won't be surprised at that point. And again, the problem with alternatives to Facebook, alternatives to YouTube, and all these platforms is the fact that Apple Play bans them, Google Play bans them, does not allow them to have a platform or place on the App Store. Okay? Because they want you to use the big tech platforms. But this thing with Facebook, it's only going to hurt big tech in the long run. That's basically it about this video. Goodbye.